Hello everyone, welcome again in your science class. So the next topic of this chapter is soil types, right? Means the types of soil. How can we classify the soil in different types, right? So the classification of soil is totally depends on the proportion of particles of various sizes, right? Actually, what happened? We know that small particles of various materials are produced from rocks, and these materials include sand, clay, and the mixture of rock particles and humus, and that is called the soil, right? So the classification of the soil is depend upon these particles, means these proportion of these particles. So first one is, basically soil can be classified into three types, that is sandy soil, clay soil and loamy soil, right? So first one is your sandy soil. If soil has the greater proportion of big particles, means if soil contains big particles in larger amount, then that soil is known as your sandy soil, right? Second one is your clay soil. So if soil contains fine particles in greater amount, means if soil has a fine particles in larger amount, then that type of a soil is known as the clay soil. Third one is your loamy soil. So the loamy soil is that if the amount of both the fine particles and big particles is about the same, then that soil is known as the loamy soil. So there are basically three types of soils, that is sandy soil, clay soil and loamy soil, right? Out of all these soils, the best soil for growing plants is loamy soil, right? Which is the mixture of sand. It is the mixture of sand, clay, and also some another type of soil particles, that is slit. We know that is known as slit. Clear? So the size of the slit particles is between those of sand and clay particles. And important thing about this loamy soil is that it has very good and right water holding capacity, right? Very good and right water holding capacity, that is good for the growth of plants, and it has also humus in it, which is also very important for the growing of the plants. There is one activity in your books that is related to find out that which soil is best out of these three soils, which type of soil is best for making the toys, right? So let's understand that activity. For doing this activity, you have to just take different samples of soil, and after that take any one sample firstly and take that sample fistful and remove any type of undesirable materials like rocks, grass particles, etc. from that soil. After that, add little amount of water, right? Make sure that you have to add little amount of water, right? And knead it and try to make a ball. After that, try to make a proper bowl and a cylindrical shape or some another shapes, right? Do same with another samples. When you try with different samples these things, then you can find out that which soil is the best for making the toys and statues. The next topic of this chapter is properties of soil. So soil has different types of properties. First is percolation of water through the soil. Second one is your moisture. Third, absorption. Fourth, texture, color, pH of soil and air content, right? So let's start with the first property, that is percolation of water through the soil. Means rate. Percolation means the rate at which water moves through the soil, right? The rate at which water moves through the soil, right? And this percolation varies in different kind of soils. Some soils absorb water, some do not absorb water and allow it to flow. So we can calculate the percolation by the formula. So the rate of percolation can be calculated by the formula amount of water absorbed, right, divided by time taken for that absorption. By this formula, we can calculate the rate of percolation of any type of soil, whether it is a sandy soil, clay soil or a loamy soil. So that's how we can calculate the rate of percolation of any soil. You can find the rate of percolation of any soil sample by using this formula. For example, suppose that for a certain sample, it took 20 minutes for 200 ml to percolate. So, for this, rate of percolation can be calculated as 200 ml amount of water that is percolated, that is 200 ml, and time taken for this amount of water to percolate, that is 20 minutes, right? So, the rate of percolation is 10 ml per minute, right? That's how we can calculate the rate of percolation of any type of soil. Now, the second property of soil is moisture. Moisture means the amount of water that is present in the soil. Even a dry soil has some amount of moisture in it, and among the different soil types, clay soil has the highest amount of moisture, right? Clay soil has highest amount of moisture. So, the clay soil has the highest amount of moisture in it, right? So, because of the moisture, the air above farmland appears to be shimmering during the daytime. So, during daytime, due to sunlight, the water from the soil begins to evaporate and turns into water vapors, right? And this water vapors, when reflects the sunlight, appears as if it is shining, and hence the air above the soil makes the land look shimmery, right? So these are the two properties that we discussed today, and next we will do in our next class. Thanks, have a great day.